Hey, look, we're back. And where we last left off, we were talking about, I need to do my LP for the day, but I just thought as a fun little side thing, I want to talk about Persona 5 Royal's social links. And purely the social links in Persona 5 Royal. I'm not here to talk about who's the best waifu, I'm not here to talk about, like, player character levels and all that crap. I will be doing it for the player characters, but right now I'm only going to be talking about social links. Why am I doing this? I don't know, I just felt like it, and I just really like Persona 5 Royal, and it's going to be my next major video. Even though this game is now 3 months old, I just want to do this here and now. Now, what I will be doing here is just talking about the social links. Just which characters like you should be focusing on when raising up social links. I am not talking about individual character levels. I'm not talking about waifu tiers. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about which of these social links should you prioritize raising if you're new to the game or you just want to have the easiest time of the game. Starting off, all of the player characters that you're going to have access to, spoilers by the way, if you don't want spoilers, leave, but all the player characters will at least be B. Some will be going higher into A tier depending on their social link abilities, but for the most part, every single one of the player characters, from Yusuke to Ryoji, will all be at least B, if not higher. Either way, let's get into it. And I want to start off by saying the only character who I think belongs in F is Oya. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Oya. I think her social link story is really interesting. I think she's a nice little fun character. I think she's personally adorable. But in terms of just social link abilities, I think she is the worst. Now, before you come out here saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and saying, oh, she combos well with another social link, that's exactly my point. When you combo her with other social links, she's very good. When you combo her with Ryoji's social link, in fact, you're able to make the game cruise control easy because of the interaction between the social links. But by herself, all her social links do can potentially hurt you, because all they do is lower the security in palaces. And if you're playing this game properly, you're generally not going to be getting found by the opponents. You're going to be constantly hiding behind boxes, hiding behind walls, and just not even being seen at all. And with how easy it is to lower your security, the security in each palace, I can't justify her being anything higher than an F. And her ability hurts you because in some regards, you want that higher security threat alarm to get more treasure demons, and the fact that she lowers it just makes it harder to do that. Sure, you can still get treasure demons at lower amounts and at 0, but for the people who like to play on the edge, she just hurts you. And because of that, I have to give her an F. Again, I like her social link story, and she is an adorable little character, and I love in the Persona 5 alternate universe adult confidant thing going on by that one user. I love how she's the mascot character of the team, but as just a pure social link, she is the worst. Sorry, Oya. Next, we're going on to C. And from here, from here onwards though, they're all characters that are good, but either their place has been taken or pushed aside by another social link. Oh, before I continue, I know I'm missing both Magician and Fool, but I don't see the reason to add Fool because his automatically goes up as you play through the game, and I don't see the same thing with Magician. So I'm only going by the ones that you cannot raise up just automatically in the story. Now, next in C, we have my personal favorite, who in the original game, in Persona 5, I would have given like an A. But in Persona 5 Royal, because of the nerfs he's gotten, I can only give this character a C. And that character is Yoshida, which is Sun. Oh, by the way, she was Devil. Now, in the original game of Persona 5, this guy was easily way up here into A, if not S. But he's only a C here in this game because he's been nerfed. First off, it's now harder to raise him up. In the original game of Persona 5, you could do his confidant link every single night, basically. There were some nights you couldn't do it, but every single night you could go out and raise it up and get it higher. And once you got it to 10, you got an absolute broken ability. His abilities haven't changed at all. I think they might have been swapped around, but his final ability that you get for him is you're able to make contracts with higher level demons. So you can be level 25 and make a contract with level 42 demon because of Yoshida. And that's still pretty good. However, he's been knocked off his throne by another social link that we'll talk about later. And it's also, he's been nerfed that you can only do his social link on Sundays. And I think you only get like 30 Sundays or in this game or something like that. I could be wrong, that you can use to do this thing. But he's still good. The other abilities that you get from him, like being able to get more money, being able to get rare items from negotiations and stuff like that, is still a very good trait. However, because his final thing has been nerfed because it's harder to get, and another social link is taking his place, I have to lower his score. So he is only C. Next, I'm going to put our Temperance, there we go, Temperance Sojiro at C as well. Again, he's really, really good. He's very good for what he does. And in the original game, I would have probably given him a B. But because of how much easier it is to get SP, and that's all his social link does, is make items to get SP easier, going from all allies get small amounts to get medium amounts to get large amounts to get full SP. Because of that and the fact you have to waste a night just prepping the food to do so, I had to only give him a C. Now, in the original game, in the original Persona 5, when every single piece of SP was an absolute necessity, oh, this guy was easily like B, because, you know, it was far harder to get SP in that game. But because of how much easier it is to get SP in this game as compared to the original, I had to lower his score a bit. Then again, getting SP up is just still a marvelous trait, but it kind of hampers his usability because of such. Speaking of SP being easier to get, I also have to put Takemi, or Death, at C as well for the exact same reasons. All her social link did was allow you to buy items from her, and they're really good items that you can only use them in safe room. But it was like, oh, heal everyone back to full when you're in a safe room, or 50% back to everybody. Or the item that I used at all times once I got access to it was SP additive, which just gave you back free SP every single turn on your allies if it was equipped with it. But again, because of baton passing, because of other Persona user or other social links, and because of more items to get SP back that are also just as cheap and easier to buy, her viability has gone down a little bit. I just want to remark that once again, I'm not saying that any of these characters are bad characters. I'm not saying that any of these characters or any of the social links are bad. I think the storyline of every single one of the social links are good. I'm just putting them at a rating system, saying which ones I feel like you should prioritize. And while each of these are good, I feel like you should prioritize other ones. Then again, Takemi does have an advantage that you can keep raising hers up at basically any day. Certain characters around here are really hard to raise up because there's very few days you can raise them up. But Takemi, and Ouya have like advantages of being able to do them every single day. And the final person I'm going to put at C is Mr. Iwa here. But he's at the top, he's like C+, where his social link will allow you to customize your guns. And while that is a very good thing, this game is so much easier than Persona 5 with the other social links breaking the game that I can only give this guy a C. He's still a C+. He's still a C+, but between how late in the game that you can start leveling him up and that you can beat the game without even doing any customization, it doesn't really fully help you. Again, his ability is good. All these abilities, except for Ouya's, are good, but he has the downside of, until you get to like the 4th level courage, which you won't get into until like the last several months into the game on your first time playing around, you aren't even going to be able to start his confidant or start his social link. So I think he's a really cool character, and I think the ability to customize your guns and mix and match them to either make them more accurate or more powerful or just raw buffs to their damage, as well as custom bullets to give different stats effects, is good. But because of how late into the game you can do it, because you don't need to do it, and because the stats effects tend not to work on bosses and only enemies, I can only give him a C. But then again, these guys are all very good, and it's just because the game is easier that their scores being hurt. Next, let's go to the ally characters that you actually get to play as. And I want to and we're going to B tier next, and I think the lowest in B would have to be Akechi. Now, you want to raise up Akechi want to raise up Akechi for story reasons. You want to max him out as soon as possible. Also, I found it really strange how his face looks in this style. That is Akechi though, I promise. And you want to raise him up, but I feel like his social link abilities compared to other people aren't that good. Obviously, you want to raise them up because the higher you raise up your allies, the stronger they get, and you want them to get their final evolution transformations, as well as get their transformations that get their 3rd level persona. And Akechi's social links by themselves feel the weakest. What Akechi's does is that there's a chance, just a chance, to get to see the affinities of the enemies. But the problem is, by the time you're able to do that, you're pretty late into the game. You're like at the 2nd to last dungeon or the 3rd to last dungeon, and you're now starting to get the mindset of, oh, I know that what each of these characters do just by kind of how they look. Like, I can tell this fire demon is weak to ice and stuff like that, and I should be using fire on it, stuff like that. And I feel like another ally is able to do it better. I'm not, and I know I've said it multiple times, but I'm not basing this tier list off of the power level of each of these units. I'm basing it purely off of their social links and which ones you should focus to level up first. But yeah, I'd give him a B. Or he's like a B minus. He's the lowest B. You want to raise him up either way because he's important to the story, but I think as just which ones you want to be focusing on more so than others, I can only give him a B minus. Still get him up for the story though. Next, I want to give actually a non-character tier list person, and I want to give it to the Tower, Mr. Get Smoked here, the child. And in the original game in Persona 5, I would have only given this guy like a C. However, with the buffs to gun that you can use in every single fight, and the buffs that you get with your bullets and stuff like that, he's easily raised up to a B for me. What his abilities do is make your gun better. When you start combat, sometimes you get a free ambush and either knock a quarter to a half of your opponent's life at the very start. The fact that your bullets, when they get stats effects, have an increased chance of doing status damage. Getting the ability to instantly down your opponent multiple times for infiltration is really good. When you start, you only get it once, but then you get later into it and you get to do it 3 times. Just when you say, oh, I really want this demon, I don't feel like trying to figure out how to do it, and you're just able to bang, 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 and just instantly down them and negotiate them onto your team, it's going to feel really good. So yeah, this is where the tier list is going to start feeling like it's opinionated about which ones are good and bad and stuff like that. But I feel like him being just a general B is a very good place to put him. Next, I'm going to put Makoto. I know, right? I'm not putting what a lot of people think is the best waifu at a higher tier. Yes, feel free to boo me. I understand. I should be hated. I know. But allow me to explain. Give me 1 minute. Now, another reason why these characters, the playable characters, are hard to rate is because I had to take them both on tandem of their social links as well as what their social links will lead to. Once you get each of these characters to 10, and then you're able to get them to their 3rd awakening, the buffs and abilities they also get will make them even better. And I feel that Makoto's she's not bad. I'm not saying that Makoto is bad. I'm saying that compared to all the other characters with their social link abilities and their 3rd awakenings, they kind of like shift back and forth between viability. And because of that, I think Makoto is the second worst, I'm going to say that in quotation marks, of the playable characters because of what her level 3 ability is, which is just AoE debilitate. And the problem is that most of the bosses you're going to be fighting, you're only going to want to use debilitate on a single enemy. Most bosses in this game aren't going to have multiple enemies that are going to be harder to kill than you just one-shotting. And because of that, you only want to use debilitate on a single enemy, and because you only want to use debilitate on a single enemy, her level 3 skills viability is kind of hampered. I guess you can use her level 3 when fighting groups of enemies, but if you're playing the game properly, you don't need to do that. You can just use their weakness to just all-out attack them and get almighty damage on them. However, her abilities aren't that bad. Just instantly knowing without, like, first time you're fighting an enemy and just instantly knowing if they'll null, drain, or repel your attack is good. And there's no chance of that. You just instantly know. Unlike Akechi's, which there's only a chance of learning the affinities of your opponents, whereas with Makoto, you just know. Now we're starting, as we're getting higher, once again, we're getting to like harder and harder to grade each of these characters. However, I feel like this is a fair placement for Makoto. Next, we're going to put Futaba. Now, here's another one that is kind of iffy. Now, the problem with Futaba's one is that most of her abilities have a chance. Her persona only has a chance. Her persona can only work on the backup allies. They can't heal your mainline allies. If it was every single time with how her abilities work, it says after a battle, the backup allies heal a certain amount of HP and SP, and her final awakening triples that amount, which is really good. But I really wish it said that it was for everybody. If they lowered the amount to like 3% heal and HP and SP after each battle for everyone, I think it was better. But because it's only backup, it kind of hurts her grade. However, her social link abilities are very, very good, because it says, hey, instantly win a fight. Hey, oh, I messed up, instantly just shifted around and they're downs. Or hey, just various other buffs and bonuses that are really good. However, because her persona abilities aren't as good, it kind of hurts her viability of being higher on this tier list. She's still very, very good, however. Next, we are going to put On. Now, it took me a while to put On here, but because I'm rating it not just on the social link abilities, but because of her third awakening ability, it kind of helps her score more so than other characters. Now, On is at B for two reasons. Because I think it's her 4 sexy talk will just automatically at random just say, hey, enemy, you don't get to attack me. I think it's only a low chance, but just utterly voiding out enemies' attacks, period, is amazing, obviously. And her level 3 awakening ability is dumb. It gives AoE concentrate. Everyone in the battlefield, boom, concentrated. If you're able to mix and match your party enough that you're able to just instantly trigger that off as super effectively, it's amazing. Or you can use her to buff everyone, or more importantly, buff Joker, so that he's able to do his broken, I have my level 99 magic, Black Star, or is it Morning Star, Lucifer, or is it Satan? Just dropping nukes on you. Enjoy your 9,999 damage, or higher than that. And because of that, she is getting higher in the B tier. She's not quite A per se, but she's getting up there. Out of the way. Next, we have, and the final person I'm going to put in for B is Mishima. Now, Mishima is good because of just the party buffs. In this game, more so than any other one, you want to get everyone as high as possible. And making it so that you don't have to go back and grind each character because you want everyone to be strong. You hear that, friends? You want everyone to be strong. I'm calling out one of my friends right now. He makes it a lot easier. And that's the reason that he's so high. Because this game, more so than Persona 5, you want everyone to be at a decent level. Because of that final boss where swapping your teammates is really fully necessary to fully utilize beating him, Mishima just being able to help level and not have to grind feels great. And he also has the upside of being very, very easy to level up because of how many days you get to use a social link, or how many days over other characters you're able to do a social link. So that's why he's B. From here on out, we're getting to the A characters. We're getting to the characters who you really should try to push up as fast as possible, or getting to a certain point as high as possible. And the lowest one we're going to be there is Haru. Now, I'm a little bit biased towards Haru, yes. However, the main reason I have Haru up here is because two reasons. First off, she's able to do something very similar to Sojiro, where she's able to make food for you. Sure, it's a little bit cumbersome having to check each time and remember the exact day you need to go back to get her SP food for you, which is what you're going to be doing. You're not going to make healing items with her. You're going to be making SP items with her, because yeah. But the main reason I have her at A as compared to B to the other units is because of what her level 3 ability is. Her level 3 awakening ability. Her level 3 awakening ability is put a repel shield on everybody. It doesn't matter if it's a physical attack or a magical attack. She just has an AoE, put a repel shield on everyone. This makes boss fights easier. This makes normal fights easier. It is so ridiculously powerful how good that ability is. So she has both good social link abilities through the food, and she has a good level 3 awakening ability with her AoE repel. She gets AoE Marin Karin and Tetrakarin on a singular ability, and it's AoE. Anyone who's played any SM, not just Persona, but any SMT game realizes how broken that is. So yeah, that's why she's at an A here. Next, we're really starting to narrow it down here. Anyway, next I have Sumire. Or you might know her as actually I'm not gonna say her, it doesn't matter. Kasumi, yeah. I'm gonna say her both names, Kasumi or Sumire. Now, she's obviously again another story person that's really important, that you kind of want to rush to get her as high as possible. But the main reason I say get her as high as possible is just for her level 4 ability, which is Chinese Hooks, which just says, oh look, I can just, from way over here, I can get my ambush attack. Which is just amazing, especially if the earlier on you get it. And then her other abilities in saying, oh, I messed up and was about to get caught. Never mind, I tumble away and I get my hit and I'm starting out average. Chinese Hook and her tumble ability by themselves are really good. Her level 3 awakening, and honestly, her level 3 awakening isn't that great, but just because of those other 2 abilities by themselves and their ability by themselves, I had to rate her pretty high. So yeah, A. That's basically it. Next. Actually, I'm gonna have Yosuke Katagawa as my next A. Now, his social link ability is amazing. Being able to take these cards and just recreate them by themselves is an amazing ability because it lets you create and mix and match and make perfect persona for yourself even easier. It says, oh man, I only have one of these samurai arms. Oh wait, never mind. I actually have multiple because of Yusuke. And then you're able to do it just multiple times, and then you're able to do it on the fly. His ability just scales with how much you want to customize your each individual persona. And then he gets one of, if not the best of the level 3 abilities for a persona, and that's AoE Heat Riser. So for those who don't know, what Heat Riser does in this game is that it increases your attack, defense, and your evasion and accuracy. Generally, Heat Riser is something that you can only cast on one unit, and there's ways to cast them on multiple units by like using the trait system and stuff in this game, but by itself, it's kind of hard to utilize without utilizing the traits, and making a persona that's able to do it properly is kind of cumbersome. And then Yusuke is like, don't worry fam, I got you. AoE Heat Riser. Every single enemy, or every single ally, gets increased attack, defense, and accuracy and evasion. Just for a single move, without having any stipulations. That is stupid. That is honestly more stupid than Haru's. So that's why Yusuke is here. Finally, we have our next A, which is Maruki. Wait, no, I need you in front of the work with me here. I need you. Wait, why aren't you? There we go. Maruki. Other than just his story relevance, his abilities by themselves are broken for Joker. And I think it's his level 4 or 5 that says, oh, my SP's low. Let me just get back most of my SP. That's dumb. Detox is good. Flow is good, which gives you a random charge concentrate, or I think, yeah, it just gives you concentrate or charge, which is still an amazing rate. But the fact that just randomly in battle when your SP is low just raises back up is dumb. And then because of how Joker works, with him being your wild card and be able to use all these different skills, just getting your SP back to full will be like, oh, well, I'm just going to switch over to Joker and use Salvation now. I guess all the enemy's hard work is for nothing. Lol. And that also, Maruki's one of the best characters I've seen in any Persona game, bar none. So there's that. And our final A is Ryoji. Now, in the original game, Ryoji would have been a C, personally. Ryoji would have, because of how his ability worked in the original game, in Persona 5, Ryoji would have been C. Where it got to the point where in the original game, when you got his instant kill move, it stopped you from gaining XP or EXP for your allies, because it didn't, when you did his instant kill, it didn't give you that. However, they realized how dumb that was, and in this game, when you do your instant kill, you not only get money and the mask, but you also get the EXP for it. Ryoji's level 7 ability makes it so that getting to 99 in this game is so ridiculously easy. It counts like you automatically win the fight. And that triggers off of other abilities. Pretty much, Ryoji with Oya is one of the best combinations for social links in the game. But by himself, just of how easy he makes farming in this game is amazing. On top of him having an amazing level 3 awakening ability of AoE charge. With how this game works, physical abilities tend to deal more damage over magical abilities as long as you're not abusing weakness, because it is a risk and reward system that says, hey, you're using life, so it's only fair that you get to do more damage, on top of also being able to crit. That is the risk reward of using physical. You use your life bar, but because you're using your life bar, you're generally going to do more damage and have the chance to crit. And the fact that he gives you AoE charge is stupid. Charging using the trait Will of the Sword and just instantly firing off your Hasatobi from Yoshizuna is dumb. You'll be able to one-shot bosses sometimes using this combo. So yeah, Ryoji has gone from being a C in the original game, from his ability actually hurting you, to being an A because of how easy it is to farm and because of AoE charge. Now the last 4 are kind of up in the air personally for me, but these are outright the best ones to rush and raise as fast as possible. The lowest one I'm going to give though, at S, is Temperance Kawakami. Her social link says, I get more time to raise other social links. Aw man, I need to do this laundry. Except no I don't, I can just call Kawakami. Aw man, I went into the palace or Mementos today and I don't have the energy to do it again. Except no I don't, I'm just gonna call Kawakami. Sure, they nerfed it. That ability, her massaging thing, used to be only like level 5 or 7, and they nerfed it to be her 10, but it's still an amazing ability because you get more time to raise your social links because of it. Oh, I need to make tools for a day, but except no I don't, I can just have her do it and then keep raising my social links. The amount of time she saves you in game is what makes her such an amazing social link, and it's one that she's very expensive, but because of how good it is, it's more than worth. And with how much more money you get in this game compared to the original, it is exceedingly more than worth to do hers and rush hers as fast as possible. Next, we have the final 3. And honestly, all 3 of these are like SS tier. And all 3 of these especially, you should be rushing as fast as possible. Just out the gate. The moment you can raise them, you should be raising them. But I think I have to give the next one to Mifune. And the reason I can only raise her to about... Actually, no. These last 3 are all in a degree of their own of being individually good on their own. I think I'm going to give the next one to actually Hifumi instead of Shifune. Hifumi is, her final ability is one of the best in the game because of what it does. Because if you want to beat certain bosses, especially the final boss properly, you're going to need to be baton passing. And what she does is says, since I don't have to wait Joker's turn to switch out units, on any unit that isn't useful at this turn, I can swap them out for a unit that is useful. That by itself is such a good ability that I suggest raising her out as soon as possible. Just period, out the gate. Being able to just swap your units on the fly when one is useful or isn't useful is such a universal good thing that she is S tier. And because of that, that's why she's here. And the last two, I had to give the second best to... Can you please let me put you here. There we go. To Shifune. The only reason she isn't higher is because of how good this one is. Fortune was already okay in the original game, but because of all the things they can do in this game, it's so much higher. Every single one of her abilities is god tier. On top of her having the advantage of able to use it during the day to also use during the nighttime or when you go into mementos. First off, she has abilities that say, hey, do you want to instantly raise up your adoration for any of these other social links to possibly raise them? I got that for you. Hey, do you want to raise up one of your social links better, or one of your social stats better to hopefully get it better so you can do these guys' social links? I got that. Or her outright best ability in the game, hey, do you want to have fusion alarms trigger just about every other fight as well as an instant trigger when you enter mementos or a palace? I got you. Because of that alone, just being able to use fusion alarms to make broken persona, she is the second best thing to raise in the game. Sure, she's very, very expensive at the very start, costing 100,000 yen to start, but once you start her thing, oh, I forgot her other ability. Hey, do you want to know the best options to select into other social links so you know how to raise them effectively and thus save time to raise other social links? I also got you. Every single one of her abilities is godlike, and every single one of her abilities either makes the game easier by allow you to make better persona, or in turn raise your social links faster so you have more time to raise other social links. She's just such good raw utility, and every single one of her abilities is good that she is the second one you should be raising as fast as possible. But last but not least, the only one that I got the full one for is Strength, or Caroline and Justine. In the original game, she would have also been S, but she's now SSS+++ tier because of the buff she got. Now, in the original game, her level 10 ability was you can now fuse persona that are higher than your level, but you can, the soonest you can get that was at level 61, where you can confuse the final persona she needed to allow you to get that ability. In this game, you get that at level 25. At level 25, you're able to raise her social link up to get the ability to say, hey, you can now fuse demons higher than your level. When I got this ability the first time I was playing at level 25, because I wasn't expecting it to get it at level 5. That's when you get this ability at level 5, or in turn level 25 for Joker, because that's when you can fuse the persona you need to raise this social link. I was like, what? What are you allowing me to do? I then immediately fused, because I was sitting on shit tons of money. I should have at like 1,000,000 yen at this point. I immediately fused a level 49 demon that had repel physical and gun. I immediately fused Grimkala. She lets you break the game at level 25, and because of how much easier it is to get yen in this game, it's stupid how powerful she is. So yeah, Strength is something that you should immediately raise, because the moment you raise Strength to 5, you can then, if you have enough money anyway, raise Strength to 10. And then the higher and stronger you're able to fuse persona, you can literally just break the game. You can literally make it so bosses can't do damage to certain one of your characters. You can make it so certain bosses literally can't do damage to Joker because you just repel all the damage they do. It's that stupid. So yeah. By the way, that is my tier list for the Persona 5 social links. I'm not talking about characters. I'm talking about in a vacuum, just their social links, which ones are the best to worst. And I feel like if this was the original game, Yoshida would be higher, Sun would be higher. In the original game, I'd still rate Oya as an F. I would have Ryoji down into C. But yeah, I feel like this is a pretty definitive list on which ones you should be raising at first. You need to raise Counselor, faith and justice for the story to as max as you can, but I feel like just social links and the abilities they give you to make the game easier, I feel like this is a definitive good list. Either way, for anyone out there watching, feel free to disagree. Feel free to call me an idiot for being wrong, etc., or to comment about where you would place these characters yourself. But this is just my personal list. Either way, for anyone out there watching, I wish you a good morning, evening, day, or night, wherever you're at. Right now, I'm out. Later.